You think you know Star Trek? Well, here's 15 things you may not have known about the Star Trek reboot.
Citizen, what is your name?
My name is James Tiberius Kirk.
After the critical and commercial failure of Star Trek Nemesis and the cancellation of Star Trek Enterprise, another Star Trek film seemed unlikely. To further complicate things, in 2005, Viacom, which owned Paramount Pictures, split from the CBS Corporation, which retained ownership to the Star Trek brand. Gail Berman, then president of Paramount, asked CBS CEO Leslie Moonves for a year and a half to develop a new Star Trek film before CBS would regain the rights. Berman hired J.J. Abrams to produce and hired Roberto Orci and Alex Kurtzman to write the screenplay. Paramount then asked Abrams to direct as well. Star Trek is the 11th film in the Star Trek film franchise. Simon Pegg, who plays Scotty, was in a TV series called Spaced, where he had this to say about odd-numbered Star Trek movies.
I mean, it's a fact. Sure as day follows night, sure as eggs is eggs, sure as every odd-numbered Star Trek movie is shit.
The film takes place in an alternate timeline, which allowed the filmmakers to both preserve the established canon and to free up the franchise for expansion.
James T. Kirk was considered to be a great man. He went on to captain the USS Enterprise. That was another life. A life I will deprive you of, just like I did your father.
The writers stated that they sought to make the reboot more approachable to general audiences by doing several things. By removing any technobabble, or in this case Treknobabble, by speeding up the pacing, making it action-packed, and by titling the film simply Star Trek instead of Star Trek 11, letting newcomers know that no previous knowledge of the other films would be necessary to enjoy it.
You can't even speak. What? I got your gun.
The filmmakers did struggle with making the technology in the film futuristic, yet true to the original series. The phone in your pocket does more than the communicator did in the original series. In line with that thinking, prop master Russell Bobbitt collaborated with Nokia on reimagining the communicator. The prototype cost the production $50,000. Guardians of the Galaxy star Chris Pratt auditioned for the role of Kirk. Principal photography began on November 7, 2007. Abrams and cinematographer Dan Mindel shot the film in the anamorphic format on 35mm film to give it a big screen feel. Many viewers reacted negatively to the use or overuse of lens flares in the film, many of which were created by shining a flashlight at the lens off camera. Before casting Zachary Quinto, J.J. Abrams had considered Adrian Brody to play Spock. In order to prevent spoilers from leaking, the production used the fake title Corporate Headquarters. Actors were not allowed to walk in public in their costumes. Instead, they would get driven to set in golf carts covered in black canvas. Simon Pegg stated that he read his script with a security guard near him. Abrams tried to limit the use of blue and green screen, using real sets and locations when possible. Exteriors of the planet Vulcan were shot at Vasquez Rocks, which was also used as a location in several episodes of the original show. The Enterprise's engine room was shot in a Budweiser beer plant, and a power plant was used for the Kelvin's engine room.
I may throw up on you.
I think these things are pretty safe.
Karl Urban was cast as Dr. McCoy at his first audition. Chris Hemsworth plays George Kirk, James T. Kirk's father, and this was his feature film debut. The first teaser trailer for the film debuted in theaters with the film Cloverfield. It contained footage shot specifically for the trailer and was directed by J.J. Abrams. Star Trek was nominated for 4 Academy Awards at the 82nd Academy Awards for Best Sound Editing, for Best Sound Mixing, for Best Visual Effects, and Best Makeup. It won an Academy Award for Best Makeup, making it the first Star Trek film to receive an Academy Award. And here's a bonus one. Legendary Star Wars sound designer and inventor of the lightsaber sound, Ben Burtt, also did the sound design for Star Trek.
You begin to get the photon torpedo.
That's it for this episode of You Think You Know Movies. Make sure to subscribe, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and get the latest movie and TV news on ScreenCrush.com.